Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 3. Chapter is entitled Karma Yoga, Yoga of Action. Verse number 38. I'm reiterating this verse. Arjuna had asked, what leads one to commit negative karmas? Life has such wondrous possibilities. You are a ray of God, you can attain God realization. Then why should you miss that goal and go after attainments that keep you choked in hell? Allegorically, you are being presented hell on one side, liberation on the other. But only two choices are given in the Gita. Even if you attain great prosperity, and to the masses you are very virtuous, good. From advanced point of view, if you have not cut down the possibility of coming back into the world, if you are subject to repeated birth and death, then all that attainment is really a hell. That reminds me of an episode from the Mahabharata. King Yudhishthira asks Bhishma, who is a highly enlightened personality. Allegorically, he is described as lying on the bed, pierced by arrows. Even so, his mind is profoundly quiet, and he is giving all the wisdom. All great personalities of that time were surrounding Bhishma. Yudhishthira asks him, "O grandfather, great-great-grandfather, can you tell me what are the advantages or disadvantages of repeating mantra?" I'm spicing up the story, so. And Bhishma replies, if you repeat the mantra correctly, you attain the highest. But what's the defect? If you repeat it incorrectly, you go to hell. Then Yudhishthira says, better one shouldn't repeat mantras because it's so risky. What do you mean by going to hell if you repeat wrongly? And what is repeating wrongly? Bhishma explains. Repetition of divine name is the greatest method, most effective for leading you to liberation. But if you are repeating the divine name, not for liberation, for petty attainments, that's called wrong way of repeating the one. You do not immediately go to hell, that's all suffering. But he explains that even very positive situation that you gain out of your mantra, led by your ego's expectations, any fulfillment of your ego is a hell. When you had the possibility of attaining liberation, instead you are getting some virtuous extension. So that's a wrong way of repeating it. But to understand in a profound way. We are not speaking about the pronunciation of the mantra, but the intention behind it. The first message of the mantra is, you can gain by your mantra all material gains as well as spiritual. But if your focus is only on the material gain, then you have chosen the hell. Why not use that for the highest gain? Now, having given that, let me get into the topic. Karma Yoga. The purpose of Karma Yoga is to understand that the day-to-day activity that becomes your duty in daily life, that activity is not to be viewed something that is abrupt, based on chance and accidents, or devoid of sadhana value. Rather, the best type of your sadhana is involved in the way you handle your day-to-day chores. That will become possible if you do not develop always a sense of contradiction. The duty has come to you. You have to do it now. But your mind says, what a miserable day it is. I wanted to do something else. I want to have a lot of chit-chats with my good friends. And I have to attend to this. I must have done bad karma in the past. That means that you don't have the spirit of karma yoga. The spirit of karma yoga implies never curse the karma you are involved with. Never curse the food that has already started being chewed by your teeth. Get the best out of it. If this is deeply understood, then your day-to-day life becomes enriching to your soul. What is enrichment? You become free of malas, gross impurities. That means malas are, I already explained to you, kama, perverted desires, krodha, anger, lobha, greed, kam, krodh, lobh, moha, delusion, infatuation, mada, pride, conceit, matsarya, jealousy. These are called malas, malos, gross impurities. As long as these impurities grip the mind, human heart is very restricted. You have loving thoughts, but loving thoughts have a kind of condition. You find a person who needs your compassion. Immediately your mind says, is he my relative? Does he come from my country? Does he belong to my religion? And thereby, you stop the good feeling of your heart. Mala doesn't allow your heart to open. Your heart remains gripped by a very narrow-minded concept of yourself. And that is a terrible predicament. The immense joy that is possible for everyone to enjoy is constantly restricted by malas, gross impurities. In order to remove these malas, karma yoga, developing an attitude that whatever work you do is a form of worship of God. Your mind should move away from the result of karma. First, to understand all the actions you do, they may not be successful according to your expectations. If you are not a karma yogi, then your focus is only on the result of action, not the way you would perform the action. You won't have the joy of performing it. You don't have the inner balance. You just want to do something hook by crook and get the result. The result-based movement does not allow your heart to expand. And when a result suddenly comes in, you say, for example, you are a student and you didn't study. At the time of examination, you looked over the other student, found the answer. Gave the best answer. And obtained marks greater than the person. That's the picture of sakamya. You didn't enjoy studying the subject. You took a chance in appearing at the examination. And you obtained the result by hook and by crook. What type of student are you? Spiritual movement, being a student in life, spiritual student. And your day-to-day situations are your day-to-day study. Day-to-day live your life and receive the spiritual teachings. The world is always giving you teachings. Putting in a simple way. Do your duty without constantly working upon, am I going to get the result? How quickly will I get the result? If I get the result, then what should I do? If I don't get the result, then why should I do? Without doing all that, simple solution before your mind. How wonderful is life. God is presenting. With Him within me, I'm going to do my best. But if I do not get exactly what I'm expecting, I'm in the arms of the Divine Mother. She knows. If you don't want she, then He knows. One way or the other, the idea of result does not limit you. You enjoy doing your actions. The result doesn't mean anything. And yet there is a subtle aspect of the result. You know, your heart will become increasingly free of impurities. That you would imply you will have greater control over your senses. You will have greater control over your choice. Suddenly the Rajasic party invites you and you will have a choice. Should I choose satsanga or should I go to this riotous party? But if your mala is greater, you don't have the choice. Your ability to control the mind and senses that ability diminishes as mala waxes. I'm not talking about ordinary wax, it increases. In a figurative way, how does this mala obstruct your movement towards enlightenment? Dhumenavriyate vahani yathadarsho malena cha yatholbenavrito garbha tathate nedamavritam. Just as a smoke veils fire, dust particles cover a mirror, or the amnion envelops an embryo. So desire veils knowledge. Knowledge is your natural disposition. If you didn't have gross impurities, if you didn't have distractions in the mind, if you are stripped of ignorance, remember the 3 points, mala, vikshepa, avarana. Mala is gross impurities, anger, hate, etc. Vikshepa relates to subtle desires that are based upon anger, greed, etc. Subtle desire, they are unconscious or subconscious. Then behind all that comes ignorance. These 3 obstacles are to be removed in order to discover, realize, who am I? Now these impurities, consider your mind as a mirror. It is in and through the mind you are to realize, who am I? Mind is the best, the highest instrument given to every individual. Man eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Mind is the cause of bondage, and mind is the cause of release. Mind is like a mirror, and your project in life is to see your face in a clear mirror. I'm not talking about normal face. The real I am in you. So the body is not you. It's an instrument. Your nervous system is not you. Mind and intellect, they are also not you. You said proof, any simple proof? When you go to sleep, all this moves away from you. Just like you come to the ashram, you take your shoes out. Even the ego is out. That awareness of who am I is just like seeing your face in a clear mirror. But suppose the mirror has a lot of gummy dust over it. Your face will not reveal correctly. Your face will become distorted. That's what mala does. Mala is like amnion covering a fetus. It is something like a hard stuff that you have to work against. In the case of the simile I gave of the dust, clinging to the mirror, it's not ordinary dust. You have to have good type of cleanser to remove it. That cleansing process is karma yoga. Mala to be removed by karma yoga. When you start removing mala, and mirror has become clean. But suppose the hand that holds your mirror is shaking. So while you are cleaning the mirror, mirror is shaking. As you begin to clean your mind of malas, and you begin to discover how much potentiality you have, I'm so excited, so many things you could accomplish. And mind becomes distracted. That's called shaky mirror. What's needed is steady hand. concentration, focused attention, a focused understanding of what is your goal. And that requires devotion and meditation to work upon Vikshepa, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. And the last obstacle, mirror is clean, hand that holds it is steady, but as you look down with great excitement, your hairs just come down over your eyes. It's called veiling, Aavarana, which is not a problem, just one wipe of a hand. That is removed by jnana, wisdom. So all the 4 yogas are involved. These 4 yogas are just one yoga in 4 aspects. Karma yoga is cleansing, removing the dust. Not just ordinary dust, but sticky dust. Bhakti and dhyana are removing subtler impurity, creating a steadiness. And jnana is removing the subtlest veil of illusion. 39th verse. Avritam jnanam etena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya duspurena nalena cha. O son of Kunti, that means Arjuna, wisdom is clouded by desire. This constant enemy of the wise is as insatiable as fire. Firstly, desire. The term desire has a profound implication in Hindu scriptures. Term 1, kama. Either you live in the world drawn by kama. That movement called pravritti. Movement in a world of time and space. And that will go on endlessly because there is no end to this world. And no matter how much you attain, led by your desire, it's not going to be permanent. But for the masses, there's nothing else. This is what seems tangible, real. But simple point, is any attainment in this world that is enduring? Anityam asukham lokam imam prabhya bhajasvamam. All attainments here are anityam, means non-eternal. Asukham, it does not give you satisfaction. It's an illusion. You feel you are satisfied. But the proof of your satisfaction, you are not really, you are going after something else. Therefore, spiritually cultured mind sees a difference between these 2 possibilities, 2 choices. The choice of being drawn to the world of desire and the choice of attaining liberation. The movement towards liberation, the path is called Shreya, path of blessedness. The movement towards the world of desire is a path of prayer, that is pleasant. Think of giving another allegorical picture. You have the choice to go to this region of the sun or look at the illuminations of the sun created by the sun on the earth planet. The illuminations that are created, they are endless. And you can live on for 1,000,000 years enjoying them. Each sunset is different, each sunrise is different, and so many places and so many phenomena. But all this comes from the sun. If your choice is to be with the sun, you have already, all this is included in you. Don't think of sun burning you up. Simile. Similarly, your mind has the possibility of capturing the source. Who am I? The ultimate source, the self within you, that is existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. I am, that am I. The kingdom of heaven is within you. You have the choice to go after that goal. But instead, you are drawn to the world of desire, karma. If the subtle sensitivity develops within you, then you realize karma, the world that draws you, that's a constant enemy. Your goal is to be completely liberated. Liberation where you are not involved with anything transient. The ultimate goal is not a shaky attainment. Ultimate goal is not conditioned by time. Yes, you will become liberated for 100 years, 1,000 years. You do a little more good karma in 1,000,000 years. That's maybe satisfying to the masses. But that's only a dull-wit mind will accept that type of view. So karma is described as constant enemy of the wise, implying there is a constant, day by day, your mind must recall your goal. What's your goal? You may be far away from the goal, doesn't matter. You must always understand that your fulfillment is not anywhere other than attaining the goal. But move ahead according to your practical reality. And therefore, of course, as sadhana starts, your focus will be, how can I control the malas, gross impurities, sublimate them. And in the sublimating process, as your heart becomes free of anger, conceit, and you feel how joyous it is to have an open heart, and the breeze of freedom comes from all sides, how great it is. You begin to see the difference between being gripped by mala and being nirmala, beyond, untainted. You see the difference between being in a suffocating atmosphere with a lot of smoke and a lot of unnecessary smell to a very clean air. Same is the situation. It's like you walk by and you constantly look at bad smell as a constant enemy. The world of desire is a bad smell. Nevertheless, once you find that the air is not so pure, you don't run away from it. You can't run away from it. But the goal is in view. How to move into an atmosphere that is pure. With that idea, you live your life. And that's the meaning of one word, jnanino nitya vairina. To a wise person, karma-based movement is a kind of inimical movement. Consider karma-related impurities as your enemies. Therefore, scriptures talk about 6 great enemies called Shadra Ripus. And all the Shadra Ripus come under one word, kama, desire. Kama, desire, krodha, anger. It is desire that becomes aberrated. When desire is obstructed, it becomes anger. When desire is fulfilled, it becomes craving. Because when it is fulfilled, you want more. Try with pets. He likes something, he likes both. A desire like the tongue of a cat or a dog. What I'm relating you to understand that kama is related. When there is kama, there is anger, krodha, there is greed, there is vanity, illusion, and jealousy. If there is kama, you are never satisfied because your mind follows a mathematics. You look at people and always calculate how many things they have and which I don't have. You are comparing. And your comparing process is always through a dull intellect. You can't compare because you never know how people are. But based on a comparing tendency within your mind, you go on developing jealous without any reason. And that jealousy doesn't allow your mind to give you peace, inner joy. Life becomes miserable. So therefore, the world of kama is a constant enemy of the wise and is as insatiable as fire. If you want to go on putting butter into the fire, fire goes on blazing. Fulfillment of desire will not bring about satiation of desire or removal of desire. Then what should we do? Indriyani mano buddhi asyadhisthana muchyate etairi vimohi atyesha jnanamavritya dehinam. The senses, the mind, the intellect are said to be the dwelling places of desire. Through these, it deludes the ignorant who are identified with their bodies. In order to be totally free of kama, to become nishkama, absolutely desireless, your attention should go in steps. First step, the senses. Control the senses. Gross desire exists in the realm of senses. Now we have to discover all the methods for doing so. All the yoga sadhana, yamas, niyamas, asanas, pranayam, all these are designed to help you. But the greatest method is art of doing your action, duties in a right way. But without going into these extended details, 3 stages of kama. Controlling the senses will allow you to control gross aspect of desire. Controlling the mind will allow you to overcome subtle aspect of desire known as vasanas. Controlling the intellect will enable you to remove the subtlest source of desire, which is ignorance. And in the process of spiritual sadhana, these stages automatically have to be worked upon. And also, there is interrelation. As you control these senses, your mind becomes much more healthy. You are promoting control of mind. As you control the mind, senses are controlled much better. Likewise, if you have intellectual understanding, if the intellect has become purified, then mind and senses will come under your control effectively, automatically. So it always goes back and forth. But all these are important as long as you are identified with your bodies. Body term refers to three bodies: physical body, subtle body is your prana, vital forces, senses, mind, intellect, ego, and causal body is your ignorance, avidya. Three bodies and 5 sheets. That plan should be remembered always. As long as you are identified with body, that identity implies that you are not free of desire. Liberation is state when you become bodiless. While we talk of 3 bodies, in practice your focus should be to handle the physical body, not be too obsessed by it. Understand your body is an instrument. You are not all of you in the body. Making your body healthier, a channel of good works, that's wonderful. But making your body just look good, that's minimum good. That's not the goal. So no matter how much you do, you are going to be frustrated. Having a good body, good looking body, but a devilish mind. Why not have good body and good mind? And your focus should be more of the inner goodness, because they are like the secret of your good body. How does it appear to the world? How does it impact on the world? Depends upon your mental disposition. Even though you are good appearance, but your mental disposition is rotten. Your impact will not be pleasant for the world. That point has to be understood. Tasmat pamindriya nyadau nyamya bharatarshava papmanam pragahi yenam jnana vijnana nashanam. Therefore, best of Bharatas, that's Arjuna, having first subdued the Indriyas. Indriyas are, in this context, referring to senses, mind, intellect. Having controlled these, if you have controlled these, slay this sinful enemy, kama. Your soul doesn't need the world at any level. When you go to sleep, you don't need the world. No body, no ego, nothing is needed. No time, no space, no history, no geography, no TV. So having subdued the Indriyas, mind, intellect, senses, bringing it under the umbrella of divine revelation, I am that. The moment you have done that, kama moves away. Think of patch of blue and the sky. Patch of blue is a same sky created by clouds. Clouds have created a little circle of the sky, and that circle has developed its ego. And it sees itself expanding because of clouds and contract. So it becomes dependent upon the clouds. That's the predicament of every soul. The soul is dependent upon the world of desire, which waxes and wanes, expands and contracts. And based on those variations of expansion, contraction, the soul develops a sense of I am progressing, I'm going backward, I'm miserable, I'm going to heaven, I'm going to hell. But the reality, enlightenment is for the soul to understand that I am the sky. Therefore, I have nothing to do with this desire movement, the clouds. Cloud-defined world is not mine. Desire-defined world is not my goal. My goal is stripping myself of all these clouds. I am that. That type of understanding is the purpose of study of scriptures. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. That's what you want to attain. That doesn't mean that suddenly you will become stripped of all things. That's what frightens a person. I'm not ready for that. It simply means you stay a patch of blue, realizing I am this God. You don't have to break your formation. You stay a wave, realizing you are the ocean. That's all the enlightenment means. Tasmat tamindriyan yadav niyamya bharatarshava apmanam prajahiyenam jnana vijnana nashanam. Therefore, O best of Bharatas, having first subdued the Indriyas, slay this sinful enemy, the destroyer of knowledge and realization. Two words are given. Knowledge means intellectual grasp, a clear grasp by your intellect. What is my goal? That's called paroksha, indirect wisdom. And when you realize it, it's the direct realization. Theoretical leading to practical experience. That's what will happen if you become free of the enchantment created by desires. If you have deep-rooted understanding, you are not dependent on the world of happenings. You are the sky. You are not dependent on the clouds. Clouds will create happenings. People look up to the sky and say, oh, how wonderful this rainbow, wonderful colors. The sky is not dependent on those happenings. It remains just the same. It doesn't contradict them. It's not an enemy of them, nor it is attached to them. That state called detachment. Detachment is not a cruel state. Think of the sky. It doesn't go on telling the clouds, Neti, Neti, get away from me. It just lets them all come in and do their deed, shout, noise, thunder, rain, and all that. And when they move away, the sky is just the same. While the thunder, etc., goes on, the sky is the same. The sky-like state within you is your real state, believe it or not. That is the goal of all religions. That's the state when you are one with God. who realized the God. And with this I'm going to conclude. Om Shanti.